being the CMO of Bugasura, just being the CMO, not really specific to Bugasura, but that position, that kind of a responsibility, how's it been?
I think I'll tell you my journey, right?
Absolutely.
To begin with. I started off my career as an internet journalist. And I did that because first from college, I got placed in ICICI. Stop it. Okay, you want to keep it there?
Yeah, it's falling now.
It's all right. So yeah, I started off my journey as an internet journalist. So straight out of college, I got placed in ICICI Bank, and on day one, I quit.
Oh.
Why? Because I went there and I saw the mahal, and I saw that this is not the place that I really want to be. And I didn't want to sit behind no offense to the people who are doing doing the work, but this was not something that I saw myself doing. And after quitting, I wanted to get into writing, and I was always a writer. So in school, in college, I was editing magazines for the school. Some of my articles got published in Times of India, and I always had that knack for writing. And my parents were always like, "Okay, you do whatever you want. We're not going to force you into a certain career direction." They've always let me take my decisions, right? So yeah, once I got out of college and I got placed here, and the first day I quit, my mom was like, "Kya karu? What are you doing?" And I'm like, "No, I know. I want to get into writing. I want to pursue this as a serious career." And while I did have the knack and the flair for writing, there was no formal training as sorts, right? Like, how do you write? How do you craft a headline? How do you craft shorter sentences? How do you capture readers' attention? None of that was there. So when I joined International Business Times as a reporter, and I had a very good mentor there. Ms. Bharti Jaishankar mentored me to write well. Every day I was writing 500 word articles and editing 6 500 word articles by other reporters every day for 2 years.
Wow.
I did this for 2 years, and I can say that this has been the most rigorous content training that I've got. I used to write for US real estate market. I used to write for global business. And the business model over there was that once some of like 4 or 5 articles of yours hit like 100,000 page views, they flip over that website, they sell it off, and then we are moved to another website. Right? So this was a subsidiary of International.
Understood.
And 2 of my websites got flipped off. There was Jobs and Hire, and there was Reality Today. 2 of my websites got flipped off, and I was starting to get bored. 2 years there, what next? Okay, I'm writing these stories. Okay, I'm editing these stories. What next? I wanted to do something that I would feel fulfilled doing. Like, am I creating the right kind of impact? And what happened next was the startup industry at that time in Bangalore had just begun.
Okay.
Right? This was around 2012, 13, 14, 15.
Okay.
Around 14, 15, right? And I joined a very early stage startup at that time. It was also bootstrapped. It was started by a bunch of SAP guys. They were trying to create a social media network.
Okay.
And that time the market was not ready for a social network like that. It was called Affinity.
Okay.
What it would do is it would connect people based on certain passions. So for example, if you are interested in podcasts, I'm interested in podcasts, we create a channel and we hang out there, and and more people add in those channels. It's somewhat of a mix of a Clubhouse and Twitter sort of thing, right? I was doing content population there. I was doing content distribution there. But because the market was not ready at that point, in 2 years, the company shut down.
Okay.
So very early on, I had a 0 to 1 experience and a 0 to 1 failure.
Right.
So I knew that this is how startups are going to be. And what I learned over there was that it's very important to have focus on what you're building, why you're building, and where you're going. And if you're not talking to your customers very early on in the journey, it's going to become extremely difficult for you to understand what to build. And even if your market is ready at that point, right? Suppose that post my company shutting down, we used to work out of a house. It was like a startup house, right? Like it was a duplex wala ghar. Dev team is sitting on the ground floor. Marketing team were like 3 people sitting on the top floor, right? It was like that. And it was a very interesting experience. And once that got done, I joined Instamojo. I think I spent the longest time there, 5.5 years.
Nice.
Why? Akash, the CEO, took a chance on me at that time as a content marketer. I joined as a content writer and a content marketer there. And I joined Instamojo when we were like 30 people, around 30 people.
Okay.
We saw the company grow to 250, 200 plus people, right? And they also did payments, and then they also pivoted into e-commerce. Right. So I saw two parts of the journey for Instamojo. They're doing really nicely right now as well. At Instamojo, I think being surrounded by entrepreneurs, because I was in the marketing, in the content space, and I was talking to customers every day, interviewing them, understanding their journeys. And these are small businesses, right? Like there was this one lady who, was selling saris, and she wanted to, make this a very, very serious business. She used to go live on Facebook and she used to sell it like, ye sari itte ka hai, dekh lo, type, that kind, like it was a marketplace kind of thing that she was doing. And similar, so many stories. There was a guy sitting in the Himalayas building a business out of cold pressed oil and distributing it across the world from the Himalayas. Like it was very inspiring, right? And I think the culture itself at Instamojo was so entrepreneurial that there are several people or alumni, if I might, of Instamojo who have gone on to become entrepreneurs today. And that's where I learned that, I want to do something entrepreneurial. I want to, and I was always entrepreneurial there too. So I started as a content marketer, went on to lead the entire brand and marketing function for Instagram, right? Okay. So why did that happen over the course of 5 years? Was because I was extremely, I was very good at working cross-functionally and understanding what are the blockers and how can I help remove them. And because a company cannot function in an independent functional way, you have to work as a team, you have to work collaboratively for it to grow, right? So that was my initial thing. I think I had a lot of fun learning and understanding how a business runs and how things work in marketing and brand as well. And 5.5 years later, you might ask me, you spent so much time, why did you move out after 5.5 years? Several people have asked me this question. I was caught by imposter syndrome. Right? And I was like, I spent so much time here. I literally know this, but if not this, can I do anything else? What if I just pivoted full 180 degree, right? Will I still be able to do it? And, when I was looking for, so I left Instamojo last year in around June. And after that, I took a 2 months break and I was wondering, what should I do next? And, speaking to so many marketers in the entire network and everything, I think one thing that came across very, very clearly was that marketers don't like doing dev tools. Okay, they just do not like marketing dev tools. I think it's extremely difficult, ICP to crack. Right. And for me, it was like, okay, if everybody is going away from this, then I want to do this. Nice. I don't know if I'll fail. I might fail. And a lot of my marketer friends said, don't do this. Don't go for an early stage dev tool and all of that, because you don't know what you're going to be for. You might get caught into, certain spirals where you think that you're already feeling that you can't do anything else other than this. So this was a very big trench for me to fall into. And I said, no, let's just fuck it. Let's just do it. And, when I met Pradeep and Avinash, Pradeep is our CEO and Avinash is our CTO of Bugasura. When I met them, I think the clarity in vision, at least, of what they want to do and the experience that they bring into the market, right? So a little bit context about Bugasura and Mulya. Please. Bugasura's parent company is Mulya Software Testing, and Mulya Software Testing has been in the testing industry for about 13 years now. And Pradeep has been a leader in the software testing space for about 20 years now. And Mulya does software testing for some of the biggest unicorns, right? Like Hotstar, Flipkart, PhonePe. And having been in the industry for so long, they really understood how quality impacts revenue. Quality of a product, how does that impact you, right? So it made sense for them to, this was a services company, Mulya is a services company. It made sense for them to bring that pedigree into a product, which is Bugasura. So Bugasura is about 2 years old now, and multiple pivots have happened in terms of positioning, in terms of the market, etc. And we're still, I wouldn't say that we're still arrived.
Yeah.
There is a lot of work to get done, and there is a lot of market to understand as well. And one thing about DevTool is that if it's not a life-changing product, it's not going to work. Like, for example, there are several tools in the markup space, which you are very familiar with. How many competitors do you see for each and every tool? At least 10 in each and every category. It works because it's a very pricing game and small feature games, but then it's not the same for a dev tool, because marketers are plenty, but developers or development leaders, engineering leaders itself, as an ICP, are very what would I say, very, very loyal people who like their tools and who can cut through the marketing gimmicks very fast. Because they know they're building the same thing, so they know this is just crap. Don't sell crap to me. I know I already have a setup. I'd rather build this than buy it from you.
I think that's one bit that every developer thinks, like, I can build this.
Yes. So why should I buy it?
Exactly.
Right? It's just a no-brainer for me. Do din baitunga, I'll finish it off.
Right.
So what is it that we can do to make their lives easier? And what is it that we can do to convince the decision makers that this is going to change your life?
Yeah.
And that's the journey we're on. Something that Pradeep keeps telling me again and again is that, and I obviously agree to this, is that the entrepreneurial journey is about the journey, not the destination, right? And I used to think of myself as a very impatient person. I go jaldi execute. I want to do things fast. I want to fail fast. I want to do everything. But when I switched hats from marketer to founder, right, co-founder, it just put me in that state. It's a very confusing state. The transition itself is a confusing state, because half the time you're wearing a marketer hat, half the time you're wearing a founder hat.
Right.
And it's a little like, which direction should I go? But how do I optimize for that direction, right? Your North Star metrics and your and the focus and the vision is what has to guide you. Right. So for us, it's always been that it has to be revenue, and then it has to be the quality of what we are doing. Right? And for that, we needed a community.